Hello students, how are you? Hope you all are healthy and safe at your home. I am Shweta Jain representing Shiv Jyoti Educational Group Kota. I am here to teach you science, chapter number 13, the sun, moon and the stars. Part 1. Today we will discuss the part 1 of this chapter. So all of you open your books, chapter number 13, the sun, moon and stars, page number 106. So children, if you look up at the sky during the daytime, what do you see over there? There is sun shining brightly in the sky. Now, if you look at the sky during the night time, then what do you see over there? Is sun is there? No, you do not see sun over there during the night time. So, during the night time, we see moon and lots of stars in the sky. So, in this chapter, we will study about the sun, the moon and the stars. But in part 1, we will discuss only about the sun and the moon. We see the sun, moon and stars in the sky. When do we see the sun? During the daytime. When do we see the moon and stars? During the night time. Now, we see the sun shining in the sky during day. At night, we see the moon and lots of stars in the sky. So, let us do this activity which is given in your book on page number 106. So, see children, tick the activities that you do at night. So, let us have a look at all these activities one by one. First, now what this boy is doing? He is going to school. So, when do you go to school? During the daytime. So, we will put a cross over here. Now, he is brushing the teeth. So, children, we brush our teeth twice a day during the morning as well as during the night before we go to bed. So, we will put a tick mark over here. Then here you can see that this girl is watching the TV. So, we can watch the TV at night also and during the day also. So, we put a tick mark over here. Now, here you can see that this boy is running and the other boy is doing exercise. So, running and exercise is done in the morning hours. So, we put a cross over here. Now, this boy is flying a kite. So, we can fly the kite only during the daytime. So, we will put a cross over here. So, let us start with the sun. The sun is a big ball of fire. It rises in the east and sets in the west. It gives heat and light. Plants use sunlight to make their food. The sun is surrounded by 8 planets. These planets go around the sun in their fixed paths called orbits. A round object that moves around the sun in an orbit is called planet. So, children, what is sun over here? When you see at the sky during daytime, you see sun. So, what basically the sun is? It is a hot ball of fire, big ball of fire. Now, sun rises in the east direction and it sets in the west direction. It gives us heat and light, as we have right now said that it is a ball of fire. So, it gives heat and light. Now, children, you all know that plants make their food using sunlight. So, it is the light of the sun which help the plants to make their own food. Now, sun is surrounded by 8 planets. These planets go around the sun in their fixed paths called orbit. So, children, the 8 planets are Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus and Neptune. The sun, 8 planets and their moons together form our solar system. So, children, when we talk about sun, now just like our family, we have one head of the family, then children are there and then grandchildren are there. So, similarly, in the universe also there is solar system in which sun is the head of the family. Then around the sun 8 different planets, they revolve around in a particular path which is called as orbit. Now, these planets, they also have their own moons which are called as satellite, and these satellites, they revolve around the planet. So, this forms the complete family, or this family is called as solar system, where sun is the head of the family. Then there are planets which revolve around the sun, and then there are moons of the planets which revolve around the planets. Okay. So, let us see how this happens. Now, see children, this is a complete solar system. Here this is the sun. Then after sun you can see these are small balls. All these balls are representing the planets which revolve around the sun. So, let us see each of these. The very first planet over here is called Mercury. Then the second planet here is Venus. The third planet here is Earth. Fourth one is Mars. Then Jupiter. Then Saturn. Seventh planet here is Uranus. And the eighth planet here is Neptune. So children, these are the 8 different planets of solar system: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus and Neptune. Now children, the planet Earth where we live is the third planet of the solar system. Now previously there was one more planet on the solar system which was called as Pluto. It was the 9th planet of the solar system, but now it is considered as the dwarf planet. So now only 8 planets are there in our solar system. So the planet Earth on which we live is the third planet of the solar system. Now among all 8 planets, the Earth is the only planet which supports life. That is why we are living on Earth. Planets do not have light of their own. They reflect the sunlight that falls on them. This makes them glow. So children, how planets glow? They reflect the light which is falling on them, and this light is the light of the sun. Okay. Now here, Mercury is the smallest planet of the solar system and Jupiter is the largest planet of the solar system. You can see here, this is Mercury, it is the smallest planet, and the Jupiter, it is the largest planet of the solar system. So children, now we come to moon. We can see the moon in the sky at night. At times, it is also visible in the day. The moon is a natural satellite of the earth. A satellite is an object that goes around a planet. So children, just now we have studied that planets move around the sun in a particular path which is called as orbit. So similarly, there are moons of each planet. So moon is called as satellite. Now what is satellite over here? Satellite is the object which revolve around the planet. So planet revolve around the sun and satellite revolve around the planet, and moon is the natural satellite of the earth. The moon goes around the earth. It takes around 28 days to complete one revolution around the earth. Like the earth, other planets too have natural satellites or moons. The moon is the earth's closest neighbor in the sky. It does not have its own light. It glows because sunlight falls on it. So children, because moon is the satellite of the earth, so it revolves around the earth and it takes 28 days to complete one revolution. Now moon also do not have its own light similar to that of planets, as planets also do not have their own light. So what they do? They reflect the light of the sun which is falling on them. That is why we can see, or they appear glowing in the sky. Now there is no life on the moon because there is no air and water. Pictures of the moon show that it has mountains and huge holes. Huge holes found on the surface of the moon are called craters. So children, nobody can live on the moon because moon do not have air and water, and all the living things need air and water to survive, and these air and water are available only on the earth, so life exists only on the earth. Now surface of moon has big mountains and holes. These holes are called as craters. Let us have a look at them. Now see children, this is the surface of the moon. You can see here, this is moon. You can see here some patches you can see. So what these patches are? These are basically the big holes which are present on the surface of the moon. These big holes are called as craters. Now the moon appears to change its shape every night. Sometimes we see the full moon and sometimes we see a part of the moon only. On some days we do not see the moon. This is called the new moon. The different shapes of the moon that we see are called phases of moon. Neil Armstrong was the first man to walk on the moon. So children, he was the astronaut Neil Armstrong who first of all walked on the moon. So children, moon changes its shapes every night. So sometimes you do not see any moon in the sky. This phase is called as no moon or new moon. Now sometimes you see a complete circular moon in the sky glowing brightly, that is called as full moon. When you see a very small part of the moon, it is called as crescent moon. When you see a part of moon which is little lesser than half of it, it is called as quarter moon. When you see moon which is half of the full moon, it is called as half moon. And when you see little more than the half moon, it is called as gibbous moon. So these are the different phases of the moon, and these phases they changes every night. Every 15 days they again changes. So children, this was all about the explanation of part 1 of this chapter, in which we have studied about the sun and the moon. Now let us come to the copy work. So children, you have to do this copy work in your school notebooks. Draw the red margins properly and do the work neatly with good handwriting and sharp pencil. Today we will discuss only the definition part of this chapter, then rest of the copy work we will discuss in our next video lecture. So you have to put the heading chapter 13, the sun, moon and star. So let us start with define. Define. First define here is solar system. The sun, 8 planets and their moons together form the solar system. Let us come to the second definition, satellite. An object that goes around a planet is called satellite. So children, this is all about the definition part of this chapter. Rest of the copy work we will do in the next video lecture, and you have to do that copy work in continuation with this only. So children, this was all about the explanation of the first part of this chapter and the definitions. Rest part we will discuss in our next video lecture. Till then, have a nice day. Thank you.